Reddit, what's an unethical way you save money? I work downtown in a city where monthly parking is easily $150 plus per spot. My wife and I both have to drive due to schedules, so it would be double that. Found out that the casino downtown here gives you free parking daily if you bet $10. So we go and play roulette daily. She bets $10 on red and I bet $10 black and each ask for our parking validation. One of us always wins, which doubles one of the $10 bets, so we get our $20 back. Boom, free parking. There has been the odd time it has hit zero. In that case we each just lose $5 each and parking costs $10 total for the day. A few words to make better sense and thanks for the gold kind strangers. That's both brilliant and adorable. I accidentally discovered that the laundry machines in my building take 20 coins instead of the $2 coins. The last time I was in Germany I saved as many as I could and now a load of laundry costs about 50 cents instead of $4. I never got removed from an employee discount plan for a job I left almost 7 years ago. I get 25% off every month on my phone and internet. When I was in 6th grade, they would give IOU slips to anyone that forgot their money for lunch. You were supposed to put your name and they would bill you later. I always wrote Cornelius Origami. My name is not Cornelius Origami. Poor Cornelius Origami. He got charged for so many lunches wrongfully. Buy senior citizen movie tickets online and print out at work. The doorman never look nor seem to care. They just point you in the direction of your auditorium. $2 saved per ticket. Cha-ching. I've found if you just walk confidently past the guy at the door they never stop you. I worked in a theater as a teenager and can attest I never gave a crap if people saw movies for free. When checking into a hotel ask if they give Walmart employees a discount. More often than not you get a 10% discount and I have never been asked to prove it. I buy my movie tickets at the automated kiosks in the theater but I select the senior citizen's price. Spoiler alert, I am not a senior citizen. The high school kid ripping tickets always gives a slight pause, and then decides it's not worth the hassle to call me out on it. Ticket ripper probably isn't paid enough to care anyway. In the 90s, I was starting my last year of school. You could have school dinners, paid for in advance termly by your parents, or you could bring a packed lunch. I was a packed lunch child, but if you forgot your packed lunch you could get a school dinner and pay for it the next day. One day I forgot my lunch, so I got in the school dinner queue and waited to be served. I thought they'd realize I wasn't a school dinner child and tell me to bring the money tomorrow, but they didn't. The food was actually not bad, and the next day I tried my luck again. They just assumed my parents had paid and nobody bothered to check. I got free school dinners for about a year. At my school they had free lunches for kids who were low income, but to avoid embarrassment they were given cards that looked identical to everyone else's card. The computer would just not charge their account. My friend would just give his card to other people and they'd get a free lunch. The system had no check to see if the same card bought 7 lunches in one day. I haven't bought paper towels in 2 years because I've been stealing napkins from Chipotle every week. I didn't say I ate there, guys, just that I take the napkins. And yes, it is a crappy thing to do, but isn't that kind of the point of this thread? I always stash the extra napkins from my food, usually in my purse or car center console, and they always get used. It makes me irrationally angry at the thought anyone would throw unused napkins away. Back when payphones were a thing you could carefully shove the fat McDonald's straws into the change slot in my city and get free calls. I pretend I'm gay. The gym I go to charges $50 less if you register as a couple and not as a single. I don't have and so my best male friend and I registered as a gay couple. The first day, the manager almost asked us to make out to prove it. He decided it was homophobic so he stopped. When we come in he's always staring while we use the machines together, like he wants to catch us doing something physical. This sounds like the plot for a raucous buddy comedy. When we were kids, we discovered the hotel by the beach had a free brunch thing on the top floor every day. You needed to use a key card in the elevator to access the top floor, but we would go to the floor under it and walk up the last flight. I assume some kind of fire code restriction was why the stairs weren't key coded. As dumb kids we were greedy and went too often and got kicked out eventually. but was nice while it lasted. They had a deal that their guests could use the pool at the hotel next door too, and no one ever checked, so would do that as well. Embassy Suites has a free happy hour. I travel a lot for work, so I always keep an extra one of my old room keys in my wallet and hit up the Embassy Suites for free drinks and snacks before I head out for the night. In high school, had a good friend who worked solo in a small fast food burger place inside a gas station. East Coast chain called Bullets. I would order a small side of fries and he would give me $30 worth of chicken fingers, bacon burgers, onion rings, curly fries, etc. Over the summer, large groups of friends would go and order $10 worth of food and 12 people would eat like kings. We did this for years and nothing ever came of it except my friends and I all got fat during the summer, eating 4k calories from that place most days. But thanks Christian, you're bro. Not me, but when I was a kid, one of my friend's mothers, a pediatrician, would dilute children's vaccines to save money. Rightfully, she lost her medical license. Frick, homeopathy joke or autism joke, I can't decide. When I get a cooked breakfast from the canteen at work, you're allowed 5 items. I always take extra bacon and hide it under the beans. That's free bacon. In a similar note, the food court in my college only allows you to take 1 item out. I take 2 cookies out at a time by hiding one in my pocket and eating one as I go out. All for those tasty freaking cookies. When I was 8, I went with my mum to set up my first bank account after an uncle gave me £100 as a Christmas gift. He lived abroad so didn't see him often. For some reason they set it up wrong, so the system recorded me as a member of staff. I'm now 29 and still have the same bank account, and now I get offered staff rates on loans and credit cards. It's great. If I am planning on going out and fancy a certain restaurant, I go online maybe 2 weeks in advance. Sign up to their mailing list and give my birthday as being the day I am planning on going. Most places give you some sort of freebie for your birthday. As a totally ethical aside to that, signing up for loyalty programs at any and all of your local restaurants will save you a ton of money when you go out. Every day I get email coupons for discounted food, BOGO deals, free appetizers or desserts, and of course the free birthday food. The week of my birthday is a tour of coupon redemptions. In DC we have a commuter program that lets you pay for your metro fare with pre-tax payroll deductions. In theory you are supposed to have 2 metro cards and only use the pre-tax card for commuting to and from work. I have never met a soul that carried said 2 cards. As some of you have pointed out, and I've now realized, there is no clear federal or WMATA rule that demands this. That said, I've poked around on a few different employers' websites to see what the smart benefits form looks like, and many of them have similar language to this example, not from my employer, but a different one. I certify that I regularly use one of the preceding types of public transportation or a commercial van, pool or bus service to commute from home to work. My monthly cost to commute to work on the type of public transportation listed above, based on an average of 22 workdays per month, is $. I request that $sign be withheld for transit. Looks in wallet. Sees 2 metro cards. I've been such a fool. Buy college textbook as ebook on Amazon. Remove DRM and convert to PDF. Return ebook to Amazon claiming something along the lines of I decided to drop the class. Free college textbooks. Super easy with Caliber. In most cases where that might not work, I can typically find a torrent, though I'm much more wary of those sources. At this point it occurs to me that it may be necessary to warn you all, but do this at your own risk. It's not unheard of for Amazon to slam down the ban hammer if they're suspicious of fraudulent activity, and evidently when it comes down hard. I commute to work by train and have a subscription ticket for it, but I don't pay what I really have to. I have to change trains on my way, but the ticket really only is for the one train route. No one checks all the zones marked on my ticket, only if the date is right. This saves my about €30 per month. I do this for about a year now. My ticket gets checked almost daily. Me and my wife go to the same university. She attends, and I work there. A plus to me working there is she attends for free. A single parking permit is $850 per person for 2 semesters. We did not want to have to pay $1.7k for 2 permits, So here is what I did. 1. Purchase my own permit for $850. 2. Go to the permit office 2 weeks later. At the beginning of the semester the first 2 weeks are free parking. And say either, I just sold my car and forgot I left the permit sticker on it. I just had my windshield replaced and forgot to take off my permit sticker before they took the windshield. 3. They charge me $40 for the replacement permit and then mail it to me. 4. And there we go. $890 for 2 permits is much better than $1.7k for one. The only risk is that they scanned the original permit's barcode because it was deactivated when I reported it as lost. But it has been 2 years of doing this trick and they haven't bothered to check it yet. I also used to heat off the used stickers on my community college textbooks and sell the books back to the college and get a bit more money for them because they weren't considered used without the sticker. Another Reddit discerned that the rate at which his university actually ticketed for cars parked without a parking pass was actually cheaper than just buying the pass. So he ate 2 tickets a semester. My girlfriend never put her license plates on her car. 2.5 years into her lease and she still uses the dealer placeholder. This lets her use toll roads and fast lanes without paying. She's never been pulled over, but I bet that's going to be an awkward conversation someday with the way she speeds. Just to clarify, she pays her registration and receives her plates. She just permanently stores them in her glove box. They are gonna tow her vehicle when she gets pulled. Self-service checkout at the supermarket. No, I don't have any bags. Russell, you don't need to charge me 5p. Russell. Unexpected bag in the item area. I bought my PS4 a little over a year ago. Used. Netflix is still signed into the previous owner's account. I wonder if they ever think, who is watching this crap? Let's say you have a relatively new car, no older than 5 years, that needs new tires. Find a rental car company that has your same car and rent it for the day. Go home and swap your wheels with the new car. When you return the car they don't check tire tread levels, and unless you're swapped with bald tires the mechanics probably won't notice it. Also, you're a scumbag if you do this. I was buying makeup last month and used a self-checkout. When I scanned my eyeliner, the machine kept telling me to place the item into the bag. Turns out the eyeliner was too light to register, so I threw a heavier, more expensive piece of makeup into the bag instead, without scanning it. The machine was satisfied then. Poop. Buy rotisserie chicken from store. Eat 3/4s of it. Return it claiming it was undercooked. I had a lady do this every week at a store I used to work at. I hated her with every ounce of my being. Guys, I was just the guy that made the chicken. My wife and I used to go to the movies for a double feature, which meant buying tickets for one movie, and when that movie was over we'd just sneak into another theater for a second free movie. We'd always check the show times to plan when the end of one movie most closely coincided with the beginning of the other. One time we even planned ahead for 3 movies. But we were tired and ready to head out after the second. We'd always buy concessions so that the theater got some of our money, but that would also give us an excuse to go back to the lobby after the first movie, refill the popcorn, and go back to the second showing without drawing notice. We probably did this about a dozen times, but now we have a kid and rarely get a chance to go to the theater anymore. No one cares at the movies if you do this. In fact, if you do you'll probably get hungry and buy candy or popcorn, and the theater will actually make some money. Someone else is paying for my internet. A few months ago I went online to see why I haven't been getting a bill, expecting to see a huge balance and a disconnect notice. Instead I see my account is set up for autopay with someone else's credit card. This has been going on for a little over a year and I do not intend raise any flags about it. I thought this was happening to me a while back. Turns out it was auto drafting directly from my checking account, which is a different number from all my cards. In my city you can either load a monthly subscription or just load a set amount of money into your bus pass. A monthly is $100. So when I was busing to work I used to just load $50 and not tap my card on my morning rides. I would only tap on my way home because the transpo cops are more likely to be patrolling in the afternoons. Now I drive to work but the monthly parking pass is $200. Ain't nobody got time to pay for that, so I just park on the side of the street where there are 2-hour parking zones. but I usually don't move my car every 2 hours. It seems those rarely get checked because in the 2 months I've been doing this, I've only gotten 2 tickets at $50 a ticket. It's still the cheapest option, but I don't even bother paying the tickets because I work in a different province than the one I live in, and as far as I can tell there's no collaboration between the two vis traffic tickets, so they don't follow up to make sure you've paid it. Not exactly unethical, but I dumpster dive. This year, I've picked up a microwave, a nearly new $200 DeLonghi espresso maker, and a 52 inches Sanyo TV. Technically a dumpster and everything in it is private property. I would argue that it is ethical. You are recycling and saving things that still have use in them from taking up room in a landfill. Not to mention electronics should always be recycled. Hold your head high and accept my pat on the back. My landlord likes me a lot because I have been in the same house for 5+ years renting, so I get 2 parking spaces included for free. I only have 1 car, so I have been renting the other spot to different neighbors for $65 a month. Free parking and $780 a year for no work on my part. My school charges $35 a year, plus processing fees, for a parking pass. I scanned a temporary parking pass I got my first day into a PDF. Then I print a new one out every week, stamp it with the same stamp they use I bought for $5, to expire at the end of the week and go on my merry way. The sweet irony is that I usually print out my parking pass on a school library printer. Suck it, SUNY. It has become increasingly apparent to me that schools charge way more than this. I come from a standpoint where my friends that also go to local commuter schools pay far less if anything to park cars. Plus I find there's something fundamentally wrong with charging people to just be able to come to school, especially a commuter school, in their own cars. Doesn't matter if it's $10 or $1,000. I mean, that's what tuition is for. When I got to the cinema and I bring my own sweets and popcorn, I'm always told I can't bring it in. I then ask to speak to the manager and tell him I have a server allergy to nuts or milk or whatever. He then just stands there awkwardly and just lets me in. I carry a good sized purse, not so large as to be suspicious, but large enough to fit a couple of water bottles and a buttload of candy. I've never been to a movie theater where they insist on inspecting your bags. So, my job sent me to Japan several times. The train system is interesting there, so we found fun ways to exploit the system. We figured out how to abuse the heck out of station passes. When you get on any train, you can buy a ticket to your destination, or you can buy a station pass, which is about $0.50. When you get off, you scan the station pass and it calculates how far you've ridden and charges you the difference. When we got off the plane in Tokyo, we bought a dozen station passes for Tokyo Station. Then when we arrived at our destination, about $100 fare from Tokyo, we purchased a month-long ticket between adjacent stations. This ticket will let you on and off the train at either of those stations for a month. It's very cheap because fare between 2 close stations is only a few bucks. Travel to Tokyo, hop on a base station, use month pass, hop off in Tokyo, use station pass. Cost for $100 ride, $0.50. Travel home, hop on in Tokyo with station pass, hop off at base station with month pass. Cost for $100 ride, $0.50. Also for fun sightseeing, you can ride the trains all over Japan for free as long as you don't leave the stations. Got as much student loans, 20k euros, as possible from the government even though I didn't need it, since the interest is so ridiculously low, 0.01% ATM. Since the inflation is higher than the interest rate, I am saving money that way. As someone in the US, hearing the words student loans and saving money in the same post is weird. When I was on a meal plan my first year at college, I would always bring takeout containers into the dining hall and fill them with food. Always had a stocked fridge. Made a fake monthly train ticket pass. Worked for about 6 months. Saved $600. Got caught. Prosecuted. Paid $1,500 in fines. Got criminal record. FML. Back in high school we had the normal lunch lines, but at the end of the cafeteria we had a special area that had Domino's pizza, Bosco sticks, 32 ounces soda fountains and stuff. One slice of pizza was like $2.50 and the Bosco sticks were like $2. The huge drink on the other hand was only $1. My friends and I started cramming pizza and cheese sticks into the drink cups, slap a lid on top, spritz some soda on the top of the lid and walk out with 3-4 slices of pizza and 2-4 cheese sticks for $1. Then in college I would wait by the exit to the cafeteria for someone to walk out, and then I would go in and eat all the free food they put out in the middle from previous meals and stuff. Now I go around to bakeries and donut shops and ask if they have any day old food they'd like to donate to the local homeless shelter. I'll take what I want out of their donation, and then donate the rest. I'll take what I want out of their donation, and then donate the rest. That's called a finder's fee. The greatest example I saw of this was a friend of mine who was touring in a band full time and they were making zero money. He knew a guy whose girlfriend worked at Subway back when they used to give you stamps toward a free sub every time you bought one. I think it was something like 6 stamps got you a free 6-inch and all you had to do was buy a drink with it. She ended up stealing an entire roll of stamps, hundreds of them, and gave it to my friend. It worked perfectly because he was in a different city every day so nobody ever caught on. He ate lunch and dinner nearly free for almost a year. Once in a while I'll get my morning coffee from a local convenience store and take a bunch of sweetening packets. Sugar, sweet and low, doesn't really matter. The rest of the time I just make coffee at home and use my stolen sweeteners. A 5-pound bag of sugar is like $1.59. In 10th grade I was still too young to get a job and my mom was working her butt off just to support us. I found out that the on-campus youth center served lunch every day as a non-profit organization. I then found out that the only guy working there really needed help so we made a deal. I volunteer to serve the food and clean up. He gives me free lunch. For the whole school year I got by with maybe $5 a week, which paid for drinks because those were sold at cost. And because most of the food was mass produced, like French fries, there was no reason to keep extra at the end of the day. So I'd always be able to get a double serving with extra sides. The servings were kept smaller to mitigate wasted food and that everybody got served. So while everybody else had $20.50 a week for food, I managed to get by on less than $5. My mom never knew about it because I didn't want her to break the bank trying to feed me with overpriced school food. Edit: I didn't actually read the unethical part. Also, a lot of people are wanting me to clarify some things. I had just turned 15 and couldn't legally work until 16. I knew of only one place that allowed younger kids to work, but it was a barbershop that only paid $20 a week and someone was already working there. As for the pricing, the youth center was separate from the school cafeteria so any assistance programs didn't apply. My mom was still married to my dad, but were separated, so we technically didn't qualify for any reduced prices from the cafeteria. The school had an open campus lunch, meaning students were free to go anywhere in town for the lunch period. Anybody who had a car would carpool to restaurants with friends. Some people walked to the grocery store deli if they didn't know anybody with a car. Most lunches off campus would run in the $5.10 range for a single meal, or $25 a week for the dollar menu, or $50 a week for a high price meal for the growing teen. For my budget, yeah, I was the fattest drinking soda on lunch. $0.75 a can or $1.25 for a bottle. Except I wasn't fat. Edit: to I can't word okay. Seems like you found a very ethical way to save money. I've been stealing bottles of ketchup and brown sauce from my local pub for years. Heck, I'd say almost all of the glasses and mugs I have were liberated from that pub. Every time I walk into my local Qdoba I look at their bottles of Cholula hot sauce and think to myself I could totally jack one of those. I never have, but I could. When my Xbox 360 got the red rings of death, I bought another one from Target with a return policy. I put my broken Xbox in and returned it, and got a full refund while keeping the working one. To be fair, it was my mom's idea and I only had the damn thing for a year. Don't think you can get away with that anymore. The few times I've had to deal with returning a system they've checked to make sure serial numbers match. My dad used to take home inordinate amounts of napkins from fast food restaurants to use as toilet paper, and then would climb into his Jaguar and head home. Trash corn. Taking an empty popcorn bin from the trash at a movie theater and getting a free refill. I do it pretty much every time I see a movie. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.